we are pleased to be joined by Tennessee coach Josh Heupel. Josh, welcome. I heard you had like a little uneasy flight there from Knoxville.
It was the rain here in Atlanta was real similar to what was going on on Rocky Top, and there was a lot more lightning and thunder down there. So it was good to get out of here, and it's been a great day.
All right, so speaking of lightning and thunder, you guys stressed a lot of defenses last year. We had Hendon earlier, and I asked him, how do you continue that? Can you guys even be faster this year?
Yeah, we can be a lot more efficient and play quicker, faster when we want to. Guys a year in the system, we can operate better. I thought, a year ago you saw us grow from the first part of the season, middle, and the back end of it. And we got a lot of young guys that are going to have to play some football for us that will be new to game days, I think, and their ability to grasp it, understand it, and then play in it extremely efficiently early in the season will be a big part of the early part of our success, hopefully, on the offensive side of the ball.
Josh, taking over any program, starting from scratch, that's got to be difficult. Then you go to a program that obviously had a lot of moving parts, a lot of things going on when you arrived in Knoxville. Could you have imagined if we were speaking to you a year ago that you would be in the situation you are now coming off the season that you guys just had?
I'm going to say yes, just because we never put a ceiling on it, believe in who and what we are. There was a huge amount of growth that had to take place for us to do some of the things that we did. Our players' buy-in was extremely critical. The continuity of our staff, everybody being in sync with one vision and working towards that every single day. There's a ton of positive energy inside of our building. A year ago at this time, nobody understood the growth that we had gone through, and nobody does now either from when the season ended. So our ability to not pay attention to outside noise a year ago was instrumental in our success. Believe our guys have done the same thing now, even though expectations and energy and noise from the outside is probably louder or at least different the other side of the coin.
Josh, how do you do that as a coach? Because, I mean, honestly, we're in Jacksonville. The Jags are in a situation where they've been losing forever. How do you convince guys that you don't expect to lose, don't expect bad things to happen, expect the opposite?
Yeah, I don't think you tell them to do those things and they happen. They got to go through the process of making it happen and being really consistent in what you're looking for and understanding what are the things that matter to myself, our staff, to our program to take the steps that we need to. Being able to give them constant feedback on the strides that they are or are not making. Being transparent and real in your communication. Gaining the trust of your players is extremely important. And that's ongoing every single day. So those are the reasons that I think we grew really quickly a year ago. There's still the foundation of who and what we are. Through those work habits, and we've talked about this with our football teams, there's teams that hope, teams that believe, and teams that expect. And we were a team that hoped and believed a year ago. Your work habits determine where you're at on that paradigm, and I know that we're becoming a team that expects because of the way that we'll work. Now, we got a long ways to go. We still got a training camp. We got to compete and grow every single day and understand that you got to reset and win every day during the course of the season. I don't know what that record looks like, but I love the way that our kids are working and their connection and accountability to one another.
Let's talk a little bit more about Hendon. 24 years old, 6-year senior. He comes back for the second season in Knoxville. Yeah. What has he meant to this program?
Yeah, when you come back after the year, I think just that position, knowing what you have, his ability to grow inside of understanding what we're doing offensively, understand defenses, fundamentally the things that he's wanting to grow in, those are all awesome. But it gives you a key component in somebody that could grab, the leadership roles of some of the guys that we lost last year that were instrumental in who we were every day inside the building. It allowed him to grab it real quick and run with it and carry a big stick when he talks, and guys listen. And it's because of who he is inside and outside the building. The success that he's had on the field is a big part of that too, and his work habits of how he's come back and how he cares and loves for his teammates. So that's been a big part of him growing, us growing as a football team, him growing in leadership, but other leaders developing around him too.
You know the quarterback position better than most people in this building, I think it's safe to say. What is his projection? Where can he improve? What is his ceiling, not just this year, but then, professionally as well down the line?
This season will not be about numbers for him. He knows that. I think he understands that and has bought into that. He might have numbers that exceed it. He might not. It's about wins and losses. It's about how he goes about it every single day and pushes our team to be great.
Josh, in this age of offense, I mean, quarterbacks and the vertical passing game, and it's so difficult now to get a defense where you're going to be able to make stops, make critical stops. How much more important is that for you right now?
I don't buy into that. You
Really?
can have a defense that can make critical stops, that can affect the game.
How difficult is to build that is, I guess, the better question.
A year ago, we didn't talk about it, but we were thin. We had 69 scholarship players.
Right.
A lot of great players left our program. I think 24, 25, 26, something like that, starters at the different programs that they went to.
Right.
Defensively for us, I do think that was a part of us not playing the way we wanted to at times, or as well as we could. A year in the system, understanding who and what we are, the ability to finish, and that's something that's important to our entire football team, not just defensively. We got great coaches, great scheme. I believe in Coach Banks, who he is, how he communicates and leads that. We got people in the third and long. We led the country in tackles for loss, first and second down, up until the last week or the last 2 weeks of the season. Still finished in the top 10 after the bowl game.
Right.
We're playing in third and long. Guess what? That's where you want to play defense. Right? So now how do we affect the quarterback on third down? How do we get off the field? That's instrumental. And I think we've grown just the people that are in our building, some young guys and that have come into our program have the ability to help affect the quarterback. Coach Garner, Coach Eckler do a great job of developing those guys. Another year in the system. And then we got to get better at red zone defense and giving up threes instead of sevens. And those are all things that we can do. So I believe in what we're doing defensively. Believe we're going to play at a higher level than we did a year ago.
Let's talk a little bit about the fact that you're doing all this. You're building this program. You also are constantly also out on the road recruiting. You're seeing, now the news this morning about the one-time transfer rule potentially being lifted. What is it like outside of the day-to-day X's and O's right now as a head coach in the SEC?
The ground is constantly moving. In college football, college athletics, there was a long time where the ground stayed pretty stagnant. Right now, there's things that are constantly evolving and moving. I think you got to have a clear vision of what you want to do, how you want to get there. You also have to be able to understand the paradigm shifts when they happen, be able to see and kind of anticipate them too. And you got to be nimble on your feet. And, you got to rely on, your administration, your staff, everybody around you to help you navigate those waters. We play the best game that there is. There's no doubt about it. There's nothing like college football, the passion and pageantry of it, the fan bases and the excitement that surrounds it. There's nothing like watching 18 to 22-year-olds grow and develop right before your very eyes and seeing that. We play in the best conference. So all those things, like the future's extremely bright for this game. It's not going anywhere. How we navigate these waters here in the coming years will be important, but I'm extremely optimistic about college football.
That's Tennessee coach Josh Heupel. Josh, thanks so much for being so generous with your time. Appreciate it. Good luck in the fall.
Always great being on with you. Appreciate it.